Our dysfunctional Congress is the direct result of an apathetic voter population, which in turn is the direct result of the absence of term limits. Voters who really want an effective, responsible Congress are turned off from voting because they feel that voting is a meaningless exercise, since Congress is chock full of permanent, careerist professional politicians who are principally concerned with re-election first, good government last. These politicians don't want to do a civic duty. They only want a well-paid job which has generous benefits, no boss, is non-accountable, has a large staff, many perquisites, and possible lifetime tenure. And to get this, all they have to do is con voters into always re-electing them. Toward this end, the incumbents carefully manage their voting records and speeches to nurture the special interest groups who give them the most financial and electoral support for the next election. And they are succeeding. Re-election rates for the House are 98%, and the Senate is 90%. So the responsible voter says, what's the use? And doesn't vote. In the early 1900s, re-elections averaged about the 60% range. In the 1960s, House re-elections averaged about 90%. Voter turnout then was about 62%. After 2000, House re-elections reached 98%. Voter turnout was down to about 50%. I predict that when re-election rates reach 100%, voter turnout will plunge to below 35%. And Congress will still stand rock solid against term limits. That will be the beginning of the end of our liberty in our once great republic. There's only one way to correct this slide into national oblivions. It requires the American voter to take back Congress. We can do it. Simply, it only requires determination. First, we must, all of us, always vote in every election. We must raise voter turnout from the current 50% level to over 80% in every congressional election. Second, and most importantly, we must never vote for incumbents, good or bad. We must always vote for challengers, also good or bad. We must give up our party and incumbent loyalties and concentrate on achieving a 100% turnover in Congress. We can do it in 3 elections. The whole House and 1/3 of the Senate is up every 2 years. In reality, only a partial, substantial success is required. When the media and the polls see the trend, they will panic. And new freshmen, seeing the trend, will then vote the way the voters want them to vote. We can always go back to voting for our party and our favorite candidate after we take back the Congress and install term limits. If we don't win this battle soon, we will eventually no longer have any choice on who to vote for. We'll have a fully permanent Congress, and it will be our fault. I'm Nelson Lee Walker of TenureCorrupts.com.